Hello everyone, welcome to Elementary Math Affair with Mrs. O. My name is Onyeka Ogumola and today I'll be taking us on a journey through the world of maths. Now to begin this journey, I want you and I to go down memory lane. If you ever had one or two or three subjects that challenged you the most while you were a younger student, chances are one of the subjects was maths. The same goes for our students today. The subject math is mostly met with fear, confusion, anxiety, tension when students hear the subject maths. Now, it's important for us to know why are students not meeting up to expectations or perhaps surpassing the expectations that we have set out for them. It's important that we see things from the point of view of the student. How exactly are they seeing this math? How do they relate to the subject math? How do they respond to it? It's important for us to as well know what's going on in their mind, how they perceive the subject. And so I'm going to take us on the journey through the word math on the topic I have tagged the math mindset. So first we'll be looking at what exactly is the math mindset. It's a mental attitude of teachers as well as students or any other person that shapes how we perceive, understand, interpret, and apply mathematics in our daily life. Sometimes, before the end of a particular experience, we've already had a mental picture of what we feel the subject or what we feel that experience is going to look like. When most students hear the word maths, they feel very, very challenged. They are tensed up. And most of the time, teachers we may not really be doing so well to help ease those tensions and anxieties in the maths class. So, as a maths teacher, what exactly is your mindset? Your mindset is eventually going to affect the mindset of your students. So, today I want us to look at two major types of mindset as it relates to maths. We understand very well that the mindset of anyone or any student is the driver behind the learner's motivation and achievement. Having said that, let's take a look at the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. And I'm sure just looking at the screen right now, even before the end of whatever it is I'm going to say, you're already coming to conclusion where you see yourself as a maths teacher. Which of the mindsets defines you? The growth mindset is simply the mindset that is open to learn. The growth mindset is never, tired or exhausted when it comes to learning. The growth mindset for you as a teacher is the mindset that tells you that I am not going to use one particular method for all my students because they all have different learning styles. The fixed mindset is the mindset that makes you feel or tells you that a particular student is better than another student and you just jump completely into conclusion. That is actually not the right thing to do. You especially, you know, disservicing your students in the classroom if you have a fixed mindset. It is expected that every one student in your class should meet or as well as surpass expectation with good results. No one actually came to school to fail. So having known what the fixed mindset and the growth mindset is all about, now come to think about it, those students in your classroom, can you identify those who have the growth mindset and those who have the fixed mindset? Students with a growth mindset are students who do not jump into conclusion that they do not know something. They do not easily give up. They keep trying. They believe in the power of yet. I do not know this yet, but I am still going to learn more. I have the capacity. I have what it takes to learn. You have such students in the classroom, also in the math classroom. And I'm sure you also have some students in your classroom that have already jumped into conclusion that they are not good at all. Perhaps no matter what you try to do or what you've been trying to do, they just feel that they are not good at it. They are always making mistakes. Perhaps it is because you have not made them to understand that mistakes are integral to learning. Perhaps you have made them, you have come jump to conclusion that once you make a mistake, then you just need to look for a way to go about it because you do not know it at all. They are condemned already before they make those mistakes. Are you those teachers who give students subtle condemnation? Yes, I'm going to say subtle condemnation because we do that a lot. Now, having known the two types of mindset here, which is the growth mindset and the fixed mindset, it is important for us to know some of the implications of this mindset. Some of the implications it has led to some meats that I have been able to put together, one or two meats that I've been able to put together here. I have five here on the screen. And one of them says that math is only for genius. Some of us as teachers, we have this mindset. And then we pull this mindset onto our students, telling them that math is only for genius, that only a specific set of human can learn math. No, whoever said that? No, math can be learned and improved at with gradual but consistent practice. We don't need to pour out our mindset, our fixed mindset, especially the negative one, on our students. So many students want to learn, but sometimes we disservice them by sharing our own experience, sharing our own anxiety, negative experience about math. And most of the time, we're not careful to help the students, probably not to absorb all of the things that we have said. We don't know how to draw the line between advising the children and selling those ideas to them. Sometimes, when you share these stories about how terrible your math experience in the class was, you should also tell them that in the midst of all these challenges, I made up my mind to be better at it. Don't tell them how terrible your math experience was, and you don't tell them how you survived those experiences. No. You make them feel that math is only for a certain kind of people because you were taught that way and you're privileged to be among the genius. Also, most of us, I'm sure you must have known that there is this mindset, that fixed mindset that, feels that boys are better at maths than girls. Whoever came up with this, because this is really eating deep into the system. Yes, it's really, really eating deep into the system that boys are better at so many things than girls, math being one of them. Now, there is no gender difference in math abilities. Anyone can be better at math. Anyone can be great and fantastic at math. Whoever told us that math is only for schools and exams? The thing is, have you ever thought if math wasn't compulsory, what exactly would happen? Do you know that so many students would actually drop this subject, math? It's because we've not made them to understand that math is a valuable life skill that is applicable to daily, that is relevant in our daily life. It is important that as teachers, we make our students see math beyond what we have on the board. We make our students see math beyond examination, tests, and quizzes. Whoever taught us that maths was terrifying and boring, maybe the teachers were, but maths itself as a subject is not. It can be taught in very fun and practical and flexible ways. Who also taught us that math is all about memorization? Of course, it's not. It's not all about memorization. Yes, memorization can be a part of it, but it's definitely not all about memorization. If you are that teacher who prioritizes, memorization in your class over comprehension, then you are not doing a good job at all. In a maths class, never place memorization over comprehension. Never place memorization over comprehension. So you may be wondering, how do I now help my students, to create the right mindset towards maths? How do I help my students to create the right mindset towards math? But first of all, as a teacher, before you're going to help your students, you really need to check up on yourself. Are you doing things the right way? So let us take a look at the mindset of a great maths teacher. A great math teacher believes that all of his students learn differently, so he doesn't probably use one method for every one of them. He understands that students learn in different learning styles, and so he prepares his lesson in very strategic ways to meet everyone's need in the maths classroom. A great teacher believes that I am going to teach from simple to complex, not that you go to the board. Many of us as maths teachers, we're fond of doing this. You go to the board and straight up you're calculating, you're lost in the world of calculation. I always say times without number, the way it plays out in your head is not the way it does in the head of most of your students. You need to meet them where they are and take them to where you want them to be. So you go from simple to complex. And when you're doing that, make use of flexible, application, make use of great analogies, make use of relatable concepts and procedures. The mindset of a great math teacher tells the math teacher that the math teacher is expected to scale up. So many skills to be learned nowadays. Technology has come to help us in such a way that almost everything, has been made easy for us. A great math teacher understands that I should scale up. understands his or her strengths and weaknesses, and readily takes the responsibility of skilling up to meet up with the latest trend to be able to help those children. There are lots of resources, there are lots of strategies that we can help to teach various students in our classroom. It is up to you as a great math teacher to skill up with those tools so that you're able to prefer, the required solution to help your students in the maths class. The mindset of a great maths teacher readily believes that every win is a win in the maths classroom. You're there to give your students the support. You are there to cheer your students up. You're there to celebrate their every win and their progress. And you create opportunities for healthy challenges in the class. You are not the teacher who puts down one to raise another. You are not the teacher who, brings in unhealthy challenges and competition in the classroom. You are not the teacher who believes in challenging your student to the point of frustration because it makes you feel like you're the master of the game. Yes, we know you're the master of the game. We know you're the master of the game in the class, but most of the time we always forget that we are not the only teachers in the classroom. We are not the only teachers in the classroom. Our students are seeing all that you're doing and they're absorbing it. And it's important for us to know that when we celebrate our students, when we celebrate every of their win, no matter how small, how big, it pushes them, it motivates them to achieve more. Having said that, now let's take a look at how to help most of our students cultivate the right mindset. The first one is model it. Model that math is beautiful. Math is an interesting subject. Model that math is a subject that has to do with everyday living. Readily display your enthusiasm to teach math. It's not that when it is time for math, you come in and it's as if, the end of the world has begun. You come in and there is tension and there is, fear everywhere. No, 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 no. You don't do that. What you want to see in your students, model it. And when you explain, use relatable analogies. Don't be lost in your own world, rather be lost in the world of the children. Emphasize on depth, emphasize on deep understanding over speed. It is really, most of the time, it is not how fast, but really how well. Make use of flexible methods. Make use of flexible methods over tips and tricks. Stop looking for shortcuts. And if you find out that there are some tips and tricks that you can use, always, be ready to show the limitations. Show your students the limitations. Don't make them, just because you want to cut corners. And now the students don't even understand the concept. All they know is that I do this and I do that and I arrive at a final answer. What if they leave your class and go somewhere else and they're expected to apply that knowledge learned? It's a total failure. Also, encourage collaboration and peer tutoring. Maths teachers, please do this. Don't make every of your class sessions an exam mode where students are to focus on their book and their books alone. No, no, no. Give students opportunities to work alone. Give them opportunities to work in pairs and in group. Sometimes some of the things we're teaching, another student can teach it to another student in the class better than we're doing. The thing is, we don't even want to accept. We feel we are the only ones that know it. Maths teachers, let's not be like that. Give rooms for mistakes and healthy challenges in the classroom. And another thing that does the magic for me in my own classroom is by helping my students believe in themselves. And I do this with affirmations. I do this with affirmations. I'm sure most of us have been doing all of this, but we may not really think that the affirmation, we really have not tagged it, affirmations. But yes, I do this a lot in my maths classroom. So before we start the day, or before my students come into my class at the beginning of the term, we all sit down to do some talking, some real talking. I let them know that that being in my class is actually not a mistake. It has been, designed that they will be here with me for the next 1 year. And so I need to push up their morale as high as I can. And some of the ways I do that is I need to tell them who they are. Perhaps they do not know who they are. I need to tell them what they can do because I believe that they can do it. I believe that they are able. So I sell them that idea, that positive idea that they are well and able. So a lot of us have been doing this in the class. And if you've been doing that, please keep up. Don't be so rigid that you don't want to tell your student that they can do it. All you need to want to do is to challenge them. No, they are not your competitors. They are your students. They are your students and not your competitors. So they need as much as the word of encouragement. They need those words of affirmation. They need those words that will help them to cultivate the right mindset. They are your students and not your competitors. They are your mini me's. They are most I tell my children in the classroom, every one of you in my maths classroom is a maths question for me. So if you fail, I fail. And I do not want to fail. So you must not fail. So whatever it will take for you and I to to get good results, I am ready to do it, and I'm going to encourage you to do the same. Now, when you put in all I have said, you'll find out that there will actually be a positive change in your maths classroom. Yes, the air, the tension, everything will will be at ease. When you come into the maths classroom, the children are excited that you're in class. When you bring out your concepts, your skills, your procedures, they're excited because it's something they can relate to. You're not the teacher that prioritizes abstract over concrete. You move from concrete to abstract. The children don't just learn math, they feel it, they love it, they learn it, and they excel confidently. That's our job as math teachers. That's our major job as math teachers, not just to get good grades, for our students to excel and to excel confidently, for them to learn and to love whatever it is that they are learning. So I have an action plan here. So after all that I have said, you now take a very good look at yourself, not at another teacher. What are some practices you want to stop doing? What are some of those things you usually do in your math classes that makes your math class like a terror? What are those things? Be true to yourself. You need to stop doing them. And what are those things that you enjoy doing that your students also enjoy doing? And what are those things that you want to start immediately that you've not been doing? I want you to take your time as a math teacher. Think deep. You have the solution to the problem and the challenges in your math class. Every one math student in your math class is your question, and you do not want to fail. So if you think you're neglecting that child, you're actually neglecting yourself. If you think you're not doing, you're going to abandon a particular child in your class, then you are totally abandoning yourself, and you don't want to do that. Henceforth, I want us to start see every one child in our maths classroom as our own maths question, and we need to solve it and solve it to the very end. And I'm sure with all that I have said, we will be able to pick one or two things that will help us to be better math teachers in the classroom. And don't forget that I am always rooting for you, looking out for those amazing math experiences that you would be sharing after putting to practice all that you have learned. So once again, I am Unika Gumola of Elementary Math Affair. Keep being an amazing math teacher, and I'll keep rooting for you.